Join Lee Bellinger today on the Bellinger Report. Lee is the publisher of Off-Grid Confidential, one of the last information financial newsletters to be delivered 100% through the mail and completely independent of the internet and big tech scolds. Lee has been publishing continuously since 1988 and is your guide to off-grid living.
Hi, this is Lee Bellinger with the Bellinger Report. I'm talking to Karen Ford today, and Karen has a #1 Amazon best-selling book called Money Matters. And Karen, she's a financial coach and a public speaker and entrepreneur, and she coaches people on money issues. You know, anybody in debt from $500 to $800,000 in debt. And she's helped people with as many as 86 credit cards and taught them how to pay down and pay off those credit cards in record time. So, Karen, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in this field, and a little bit about your book, Money Matters.
All right. Well, that's a loaded question right there. I get asked that question quite often. I'm actually a registered nurse. However, I have not practiced as a nurse for the past 8 years. And what happened was I had a friend of mine tell me, Karen, you are so good with money and numbers. I think you ought to get some further training in that because you're really good at investing and making every dollar and penny count. And I said, well, okay. So I took their advice and I got more training in that field and became a master financial coach. And although I'm not practicing as a nurse, I look at it like this, Lee. As a nurse, I helped people get healthy physically. And as a master financial coach, I help people get healthy financially. And so I absolutely love helping people. I loved helping people when I practiced as a nurse, and I love helping people as a coach. And, you know, the name of the game is so many people don't have an understanding of money. So many that I have coached, they had one common denominator, and that was they never were taught how to budget. So in the book, Money Matters, I discuss a wide array of topics, and I actually entitled that book Money Matters for 2 reasons. The #1 reason is because money really does matter. You have to have it to live. You have to have it. And the second reason I entitled it Money Matters is because that book encapsulates matters surrounding money, whether it's you're needing to learn how to appropriately budget, how to demolish debt, how to build wealth, whether that's learning how to invest, whether it's in a 401k, IRA, the stock market, or real estate. I hit all of those particular areas, and I'm an avid real estate investor. Love, love, love it. And then I actually have a chapter in that book on the mind. Because thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, and habits become a way of life. So when people say, does it really matter what I think about money? Oh, it absolutely does. Because if you're constantly thinking and saying, well, I'll never get out of debt. This debt is too much. I just never see myself coming out of debt. Everything within you is going to move towards that. So we have to change our thoughts and our words, because everything within us is going to move us towards whatever we're saying.
Excellent. I mean, that's really a great observation. So let me ask you, can I just go back into the weeds a little bit here, Karen?
Absolutely.
The weeds I'm thinking about is, like you mentioned, that you've actually coached people who had as many as 86 credit cards.
Yes.
So let's just say that you've got 3 or 4 credit cards where you've got really high balances. What is your first piece of advice to that person? Is it about budgeting, or what is it you do in cases where somebody's underwater on their credit card debt and they have limited resources? What's your piece of advice in that scenario?
Well, first of all, I'm going to dig a little bit and find out and get a little snapshot of what their financial situation is. Are these charges on credit cards because they are medicating themselves emotionally? Are they out shopping for things they want, not necessarily things they need? Or Are they using the credit cards to pay utility bills because they don't have the cash? So I'm going to look at all of that. So the first thing is I'm going to check and see, why are we using the credit card? The second thing I'm going to look at is we're going to look at the budget, because if you have the income to make the payments and even extra on, extra more than just the minimum payment, then I'm going to advise that they do that. However, if the income really isn't there and things are fairly tight, then we're going to look at possibly looking at a 0% interest credit card for a period of time. Now, there's lots of offers out there. They can give 6 months, 12 months, 18 months for balance transfers. So let's say you have a credit card. Do you have a favorite,
Karen? Do you have a favorite card for that?
No, I actually don't, because most of the credit cards that offer 0% interest for a particular amount of time, they're going to charge some kind of transfer fee, whether it's 2%, 1%, or 3%. They're pretty much about the same. But the key is this. When you transfer money for a 0% interest for a particular amount of time, you don't want to charge that card with anything new. And secondly, you want to make sure that that particular balance that you transferred to that card for 0% gets paid off within that allotted amount of time. Otherwise, let's say, for example, you do a balance transfer of $2,000 to a 0% interest for 12 months. Well, the 12 months goes by and you still have a $500 balance on it. And you're thinking, well, that interest on that's not going to be that much. The day after that 12 months is up, they are going to add all the interest that you were not charged for that 12 months back onto that card. And many times it might be 21% interest, 24.9% APR. So it's very important that when you do a balance transfer for an allotted amount of time, don't make new charges on that card, and certainly make sure that you get that balance paid off within that particular amount of time. But the other cards, we're going to make sure that we still make those minimum monthly payments on them. I do not advise doing a consolidation loan. That is a big consolidation loan, because in the end, you actually pay more, in the long run.
Yeah. It's so funny, Karen. That's really great stuff on the zero APR. I had the same thing. Like, we had a really nice big fence on our property done, and Lowe's had a really terrific 0%, 18-month loan. And my bookkeeper walked me through that. And she said, do not be late on any of these debt tranches, because it's complicated. And then you go back to zero, and then it's going to cost you $5,000 or $6,000 that you thought you were saving. And
right.
As long as you manage it correctly, you're okay. But 80% of the people don't manage it correctly. And so
right.
they think they're getting it for 0 interest, but you actually have to hit certain targets by certain dates with Lowe's. So Lowe's has a really confusing system, but I mean, and so the 0% thing is a blessing, as long as you understand it has to be utilized strictly by their rules. As long as you follow it's kind of like people who get rebates, and they get to claim that, hey, you get this big rebate, but probably a third of the people actually do all the things necessary to get the rebate. To actually get the rebate, they have to mail something in. They have to do this, this, and this. And, with 0% interest cards, you got to follow the rules closely, is my point, I guess.
Right. That's right.
And so I love that. So basically, that's a great money lesson to teach people how to take advantage of the 0 APRs, but not to screw it up, because you can't.
That's exactly right. That's true.
Then you go back home to mama. You got all the debts. You got everything. That's good. That's good. I'm sure that no wonder your book is so popular. So I must say that's pretty impressive. So it's your 4th book, right? Money Matters?
It's the second book out of 4. The first book is 31 Days to a Greater Understanding of Money. And obviously that's the first book, because that title is way too long.
But
It's a devotional. The third book was Money Nuggets. It's a little nice stocking stuffer book. And then the fourth book is You Can Do It. And that encapsulates everything about real estate. It's almost a real estate investing 101 book, whether
Really?
you want to house flip, buy, sell, rent, whatever, I do it all. Love it. Real estate is a great, great, great money making investment. Yes.
So, Karen, let me ask you a question. I think a lot of people will be interested in if you have any personal hobbies you want to tell us about. I'd love to ask that question. You'd be shocked at what kind of answers I occasionally get.
I enjoy walking. I enjoy talking, watching movies, cycling. I enjoy exercise, and I enjoy being outdoors. Now, I'm not a camper. I won't camp in a tent or stay in a cabin. My idea of camping is in a 5-star hotel. But I enjoy the outdoors, but I got to have a soft bed. So, but yeah, I really enjoy being outside and walking and getting exercise. Mm-hmm.
So what's the best way now? Some of my readers, so they can go on Amazon and get your best-selling book, Money Matters. Is that the book you're recommending they get?
Yeah.
Money Matters by Karen Ford. Okay,
yes,
good.
sir. And then, they can always go to my website as well if they are so inclined. But Amazon is just so quick and easy. But
Give
my
your
website
out.
Sure.
Karen
Ford. Okay, KarenFord.org.
Simple enough. KarenFord.org. And is there any other way for them to reach out to you? The website is the best and most efficient way?
Yes, sir. That's the easiest way to reach out to me.
And you do public speaking? You do you travel outside of your state much at this point?
Absolutely. Oh, I do. Yes. Pennsylvania, New York, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, New Jersey. Yeah. And I think in about 8 months, I'll be going to Washington State. Yeah.
So one other question I had for you is about flipping properties. Is that mostly in your Money Matters book? Or is there another?
There's actually another book. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. There's just a little bit of information on real estate in the book Money Matters. But if you want to, get more information on real estate, then I would recommend the book You Can Do It. That has everything in it regarding real estate investing.
You Can Do It by Karen Ford.
Yes. That's
nice, Karen. Okay. Well, our time is almost up. Let me ask you this one last question. Have I missed anything?
No, you're an excellent interviewer. I feel like I rattled on, but
not at all.
That's what I do.
Well, you rattled on, but at least when you rattle, you make sense. That's good. Sometimes people rattle on and they don't make any sense at all. So that's awesome. I'll probably pick up your book. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And your idea, You Can Do It, is walk people through some of the basic 101 important stuff on flipping real estate. I think that's a great subject. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Karen, I wish you well. It was a delight talking to you this morning, and we will reach back out to you and let you know when this podcast is going to be aired. It might be a little while, but we will get back to you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.